Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Welcome. This is the Natural Solutions class, aka a basic essential oils class. Thank you for being here, and thank you for joining me as we talk about essential oils and what essential oils are and why they're so awesome. So for those of you guys that have never used essential oils, or if you're brand new to essential oils, I'm pulling up a document from doTERRA.com that's just a basic, you can also print it off, guide, because it's easier for me as a visual learner to talk to you guys about how awesome essential oils are. But if you can see a few visuals, I feel like it really helps me and helps you guys. So basically, I'm just going to kind of go through this, these few pages here with you guys and explain how and why and what doTERRA is all about and what oils are all about. I also have my oil box here. This is kind of what I keep by my desk, and it's the basic oils that I love, and I'm going to talk about some of these, and so I like to keep them handy. If you guys have oils, or if you've been given a sample of oil and you want to bust it out while we're in this group and we're doing this, feel free to follow along with me as I talk about some of these oils. So natural solutions for healthy, empowered living, that's what I'm talking about tonight. The things that I want you guys to get out of this, and one thing that I also would love is if you don't have a pen and paper in front of you, go grab one, because there is a couple of times during this next about 30 minutes that we're going to be talking that I might want you guys to write down a few things that I'm going to ask you about. And for me, it really helps if I write things down, because then I can go back and reference it. But it's not only that, because I don't always go back and reference it. It's just me writing it down helps me like think about it for a little bit longer, you know, than if I didn't write it down. So if you guys are not aware, essential oils have been around forever, like literally forever. I would call it the original medicine. So back, you know, before modern medicine was around, people used plants as medicine. And you can find them in the Egyptian tombs. You can find them, you know, back in the Middle East where, you know, Jesus was given baby Jesus oils, frankincense, myrrh, and, you know, so they've been around forever. And you know, what happened, I think, is that oils have been around, or essential oils and plants obviously have been around forever, but in this modern day and age, we forgot about them. We forgot about where, you know, medicine really came from. So essential oils now can really give us that back to the original medicine, which is super awesome. So there's a few different things that I want you guys to think about. First of all, the effectiveness of essential oils. So if you have peppermint oil, I'm going to tell you guys a little story. If you don't have peppermint oil, I'm right here on this little part right here about the effectiveness, but I got to tell you a story about peppermint oil. Peppermint oil was the very first oil that I was actually introduced to. I was introduced to it almost 6 years ago. That sounds crazy, but almost 6 years ago was when I first started using doTERRA oils, and I didn't know about essential oils before then. It was like this magic weird thing that somebody had given me a sample of. So how the story goes is my friend had come over. I just found out I was pregnant for the 4th time in 5 years, and I wasn't very happy that I was pregnant again. And my friend was over, and she's like, my mom just got into these things called essential oils. Would you want to try one? They might have one for nausea. And I was like, please bring it over. I would like to try anything that has to do with making me not feel sick to my stomach. And so she brought me over a sample of peppermint oil, and I was like, okay, what do I do with it? She's like, just put a drop in your hand and rub it over your stomach and see if that helps. She's like, you can also put it in a drop of water, you know, and drink it if you want. So I just rubbed it on my stomach, and honestly, in the first like 5 minutes, well, first of all, I was like, there's no way, right? There's no way this is gonna work. In like less than 5 minutes, I actually felt better. Like I had relief for the first time in months of having a stomach ache. And that, to me, I was like automatically hooked. And so I went to a class just like this one, and it was in real life, but same information about how essential oils work and why they're so awesome. And so that was my story about peppermint. But the really cool other thing about peppermint oil is, and this is to do with all of the oils that doTERRA has, is how potent they are, how like just super raw they are. Hi, I'm in the middle of a class. No, sorry, just 1 second. Hold on. I have 4 children. I think I mentioned that. So back to what I was saying. Peppermint oil, 1 drop of this, how potent it is, 1 drop of this is equivalent to 28 cups of peppermint tea. That's crazy, right? That's insane. So basically, you could take a hot cup of water, like tea, and drop a drop into it and drink it to help soothe your stomach if you wanted. And that would, I mean, equivalent to 28 cups of peppermint tea. Basically, what I'm saying is you only need 1 or 2 drops per application when you're using doTERRA's essential oils, because that's how pure they are. Meaning there's no weeds, there's no, you know, there's nothing to like put into the oil that's going to lessen the quality of it. No weeds, no pesticides, no fillers. It's not diluted. It's the pure form of it. So to me, that's super awesome and really cool that doTERRA does not compromise the oil that they're going to put on the market for us to buy. You know, and that's kind of the standard of what doTERRA really is all about, is the quality of their oil. There's different grades of essential oils. And if you look right here on this part of the chart, there's different grades. There's therapeutic grade. Well, first of all, the biggest grade is synthetic. So when you think about synthetic, and I didn't really know this, but I guess I just didn't put 2 and 2 together, but laundry detergent, soaps, hand soaps, anything that's scented with something, even like gum, you know, and it's something that's made in a lab to copy the smell of or the feeling of an essential oil. So like if something's scented with lavender, most likely it's a synthetic that then it's been scented that way to smell like lavender. And then food grade is things that we can consume. So things like mint ice cream or mint gum, or, you know, if you took an orange sickle, or when lemonade says 0% juice, something like that, right? It's something that we can actually put into our body according to the FDA, but how good is it for us? And then you have therapeutic grade, which is something maybe a massage therapist would use. But then really you have this higher quality than that, where it's a medicinal grade or it's certified pure therapeutic grade, meaning that you can use these oils internally. You can put them on your body. You can use them in the air, and there is going to be no synthetics in them, that they are going to say what they are, 100% pure. So some people ask how essential oils work. Like, how do they actually work? So I like to give this analogy, but if you look at this picture right here, this kind of explains it. But if you can see me on the screen also, I'll show you my bottle right here of essential oil. But imagine that this bottle is your cell in your body. This cell is covered in an oily membrane. So every cell in your body, we have millions of them, is covered in an oily membrane, right? most synthetic, 100% of all synthetic medication, but most all medications that we put into our body are synthetic or water-based, meaning water and oil, we already know, don't mix, right? So they can't penetrate a cell wall. And so what happens is when you take an oil, it can actually penetrate that cellular wall and get in there to where a virus is, or if there's a damaged cell, if you have inflammation, the oils can actually help heal that cell and make it feel better, make your body feel better. So if you think about it, if you go to the doctor and the doctor is like, sorry, it's a virus, well, a virus lives inside cells. And that's why the doctor's like, sorry, a bacterial infection. It's not a bacterial infection. An antibiotic won't help. You can take an oil and it can actually make you feel better, which is fantastic, right? So when you talk about oils working on a cellular level, that's what I'm talking about. That's what medicinal grade means, meaning it's going to actually help heal your body. So pretty amazing, right? So we've talked about the effectiveness. We've talked about how safe they are, how pure they are. Now let's talk about how cost-effective essential oils are, because some people, I think, they might be like, well, you know what? Essential oils are really expensive. I can't afford to buy essential oils. Okay, so I don't have a chart of this, but I just wanted to explain this to you guys. My son had an ear infection. He got off the bus one day. This was a couple of years ago. I think he was 6 at the time, so he was in kindergarten. He got off the bus one day and he was crying and he was pulling on his ear. Well, my kids didn't really, when they were little, they didn't ever really get ear infections. And I know some people that get like chronic ear infections with their kids. My kids didn't experience that. So he's off the bus, he's crying. I know he doesn't feel good. And I'm like, maybe it's an ear infection. I'm like, does your ear hurt? And he said, yeah, my ear hurts. So I didn't know what to do. I looked it up in a book, in a oil guide book. And I looked up ear infection and it said basil and melaleuca. And it told me what to do. It said, put a drop of basil on a cotton ball and hold it over their ear and have them lay down with it. And do the same thing with melaleuca. You can rub melaleuca around his ear to help relieve the pain as well. So I had used a drop of basil and I had used about 2 drops of melaleuca. And I did that for a couple of hours. From the time he got off school, I did it like every 2 hours until he went to bed. So maybe 3 times I did that. Now, I think it cost me about, I don't know, not even 20 cents per drop of melaleuca. And it cost me about same amount for basil. So maybe $2 in oils, if that, probably less. And he was better. He didn't have to go on an antibiotic. I didn't have to take him to the doctor. We didn't have to have him miss school the next day. He slept through the night. He didn't have any pain after that and honestly was totally fine. So, if you think about co-pays, doctor's visits, the gas that it took to get there, filling a prescription, giving a prescription to a kid for, 10 days, him missing school or being in pain for multiple days, terrible. Like, that's awful for you. That's awful for the child. And you're having to give him something like an antibiotic when a couple of drops of oil would have helped. That's huge, right? That to me is saving me a ton of money. It's not only saving me money, but it's saving my child from not feeling well and saving him and me from having to take the time to go and take him to the doctor. So, sometimes you think about the cost, the cost of oils, but if you have a set of oils at your house that you can use as a first defense, like, that is priceless. I know that sounds really cheesy, but that's really priceless. Because you have those oils to use right then instead of having to do the other thing, which is most likely go to the doctor and follow that whole route. To me, that's huge. So let me just explain to you guys the 3 different ways that you can use essential oils. So you can use them, and I'm down here on the bottom if you're following along or looking at this, but aromatically, so through the air, obviously, through the air. So you can either take the bottle and literally just take the lid off and take deep breaths of it. You can put it in a diffuser, and if you can see behind me, there's a diffuser right there that we have going. And there's one in the picture there, but a diffuser puts oils into the air for a few different reasons. To open airways, to clean the air, to use as a mood enhancement or mood booster. It can also freshen the air. It is a sneaky way of getting oils into your house and on your children, like into their systems. One way that we've used essential oils through diffusing is by me donating diffusers to my kids' classrooms. I give every teacher of my kids at the beginning of the school year a diffuser and a bottle of On Guard. And so On Guard is one of these oils that helps protect our immune systems. It helps repair our immune systems if they're weak, but it also helps keep them healthy. So it's antibacterial, antifungal, antimicrobial. And so I give one of these bottles of oil with a diffuser to help clean the air at school so that, you know, less bacteria is going around, less sickness is going around with that. On Guard is one of those oils that it smells really good. It's not like harsh to, you know, people's, you know, nose if they're whatever about oils, but it also tastes really good. It's a tiny bit spicy, but if you've got a sore throat, it helps coat your throat and feels really good. On Guard is one of those oils that really just is an all-around awesome oil to put on every single day to help your immune system stay healthy. Especially if you've got kids, or you're flying, or you travel a lot, or you're in a busy, area, and you need to keep your body and your immune system healthy. So it's great. Diffusing oils is fantastic. I'll give you another quick story about diffusing oils. My kids always, every single winter, not the last 2 winters, but I would say prior to that, they all at some point would get croup. That really barky cough that you're like, holy cow, do I need to go to the emergency in the room in the middle of the night because of the way that they're breathing, and it's scary. So we have used 2 oils to help with croup, and we've used it in the diffuser and topically, which I'll talk about in a second. But in the diffuser, we've used Breathe, which is great for anything respiratory related, and we've also used lavender to help them with their calming down so that they can make sure they take a deep breath. But these 2 oils in the diffuser is something that I still do every single night for my kids. And in all honesty, I can't remember the last time that they were sick enough that they obviously didn't have to go to the hospital, but had to be on an antibiotic, or even missing school. So that's fantastic right there, those 2 oils at night in a diffuser to help them sleep, keep them calm, and keep their airways open for sleeping and not getting sick. So that's aromatic. Topically, oils, I would say it's probably the most common way to use oils is topically. And so basically you can use it on the area that's bothering you. So when I use peppermint oil and I rubbed it on my stomach for a stomach ache, if I had a headache, I could rub oils on my neck or on the, around my forehead. If you had an ingrown fingernail and you wanted to put Melaleuca on it, you just put it right on the area. If you had an earache, right on the ear. But another way to use oils topically is on the bottom of your feet. So the bottom of your feet has the biggest pores. It's also got a lot of pressure points to treat different areas of your body through your feet. It also gets into your bloodstream so quickly in about 20 seconds when you use oils on the bottom of your feet. So, if you have a child that won't take, oils through their mouth, like On Guard's too spicy for them or something like that, you can always just put it on the bottom of their feet and rub it in, and it will actually be the same effectiveness as if they put it into their mouth. You know, same with, let's say if they had an earache, you could put oils on the bottom of their feet to actually help with an earache as well. So that's another way to get oils into kids' bodies, or I mean adults also, but especially for kids, I would say the bottom of the feet is a fantastic place to put oils. So that's topical use. The other thing I want to say about topical use is dilution, like diluting oils. So some oils are considered hot or spicy, and so that's something that you want to be cautious of. Oregano oil will burn your skin if you put it on directly because it's so pure. But the cool thing about using this bottle, you know, of oregano is if you took a drop of this and you dilute it with a coconut oil, a fractionated coconut oil, not only does it spread further, but it doesn't take away the effectiveness of it. You can actually get it over a larger area. But a really cool thing about, I'll tell you a story about oregano. Oregano is your natural antibiotic. So it's kind of a big guns type of oil. It can really fight a lot of serious things. You know, so much as strep throat or an infection like that. It can really knock it out if you're using it. And I mean, I've gone so much as putting it in my mouth when I've had a really bad sore throat. And I wouldn't recommend it necessarily, but at the same time, if you're, you know, got a really bad sore throat and you want to get rid of it quickly, oregano works. My son had a wart on his finger. It was really driving him crazy. It was right on the tip of his finger, and it was the finger that he was, you know, he writes with. And so we actually, I wish I had taken pictures, but I had him take a Q-tip. He's 10, so, you know, he's totally capable of doing this himself. But he would take the Q-tip and just dip it into the top of the oregano bottle and get enough on there to just put it right on the tip of his finger. And he would do it twice a day, at least twice a day, morning before he went to school, and then once after he showered at night. And I mean, I think it was less than a week that it had turned black. And one day he's like, Mom, look, Mom, look. And he had picked it off and it was completely gone. And you cannot even see like a scar from the wart. You can't see anything from it. It was crazy. Like, I'm shocked by it. I've used oils for 6 years and I'm still shocked by it. It's crazy. But it really does work, but you have to be a little bit careful with it. I had him put it directly on the wart and really not around it at all. So oregano, super powerful oil, very good for topical use, but you want to be careful with it. You know, one of those oils you do want to be a little bit careful of. Okay, so that's topical. And then the third way to use oils is internally. So you can actually take doTERRA's oils internally. And one way that you'll notice is on the side of the bottle, and I know if you guys can see this or not, but it says supplemental facts right there on the side of the bottle. If you can take it internally, it will say that. And so reasons why you would take an oil internally, it gets into your system really, really quickly, into your bloodstream really quickly, but it can also help with you know, things going on in your system, like in your gut, in your throat, in your liver, cleaning out your liver, for instance. Lemon oil is a fantastic oil for cleaning out your system, for detoxing your system. I'm prone to kidney stones, and before I used doTERRA, I had 4 kidney stones. I don't really recommend getting kidney stones for anybody. So ever since I started using lemon oil in my water, a drop or 2 per like hydro flask, you know, like 16 to 32 ounces. I put a couple drops of lemon oil, and it helps flush out my system and keep my kidneys and liver really healthy. So things like that are, you know, essential oils internally are super helpful. So you know, a few different ways that you can take essential oils internally is you can drop it in water and drink it. You can put it into a veggie cap, or you can, you know, put it in a shot of water and drink it back, or just like under your tongue. Another story I want to tell you is about frankincense. So frankincense is a very powerful, powerful oil. And it's kind of one of those, if you don't know what to do, use frankincense. It's fantastic for inflammation. It's fantastic for depression, anxiety, scar reduction. Like the list goes on and on. It's a huge oil for a lot of different things. But one thing that I use frankincense for, without doubt, every single day, a couple times a day, is I put a drop of frankincense under my tongue. I mean, at least twice a day. But what I do is I actually just take the lid off and tip it upside down and put it under my tongue. Now, under your tongue, it gets right into your bloodstream and it actually goes down your body. And it helps really with anxiety and depression when you put it under your tongue, but it also helps with inflammation. So I do that to up my mood and keep me balanced in that way. So it has honestly been a life changer for me when I've done that. And some people can't stand the taste of it, and it's funny, but I didn't used to like the taste of it, and now my body craves frankincense, which is awesome. So that's how you use oils internally. So aromatically through the air, topically on your body, and internally through the mouth. All oils are not created equal. I hope you guys have grasped that from me talking, but make sure that you don't just go to a health food store and buy an oil and think that you can use it in the same way you can use doTERRA oils, because they are not all created equal. The oil industry is not regulated. The FDA does not regulate it. So even if it says 100% pure on the side of the bottle, if it has not gone through all the tests that I feel like are appropriate, that doTERRA does do with third-party testing, I would not recommend taking them internally. So make sure you know what oils you're taking. So that's why I use doTERRA oils. All right, so I'm going to move on past this page here, but I would like, you know how I asked you guys to take a minute, get a pen and paper? As I've been talking, I haven't asked you this yet, but I would really like you guys to write down your top 3 like health priorities, your health goals, your health concerns. You know, it could be about you, and then it could be about your family. So maybe you don't sleep well. Maybe you get headaches. Maybe you have an ingrown toenail that you can't get rid of the infection from. Maybe your kid suffers from asthma. Take a couple of seconds here and just jot a few things down. I've talked about a handful of oils already. doTERRA has a lot of oils, but they also have a lot of remedies. And I mean, thousands of things that you can do with these oils when it comes to your health and really having a better lifestyle and a better quality of life. And so my goal really is to be a solution provider for you guys, to really help you understand how to use these oils to, you know, on every ailment that you can think of, and really help you guys solve those problems. So after you've written those down, I want you guys to, you know, think about the stories that I've told. And if you have come across something that would work for one of those, maybe you get headaches and you know that I've talked about peppermint working, or you get stomach aches and you've heard me talk about peppermint working, or whatever it is. But if you don't know, I encourage you to ask whoever invited you onto this call and ask them what they recommend for those health concerns and talk to them about them, because that will help guide you in what oils would be best for you to start with as a starter way for you to get going with oils. But before I move on, I just wanted you guys to take a minute here, and I'm not going to read through all of these, but if you want to read through them while I'm talking, here's a bunch of oils that doTERRA has that, you know, just go through a few things on the list here of what, you know, they work for. The thing is with oils, the list for Melaleuca, for instance, they've listed 4 things here that Melaleuca is great for. The list in a book is probably about 100 different things that Melaleuca is good for. So yes, all of these things are fantastic right here for Melaleuca, but know that there is a lot more to that list. And if you're curious about that, then ask the person that invited you, because they will have the answer or can help you find the answer to that. So I'm just gonna scroll down here. I'm actually gonna, let me scroll back up real quick. I'm gonna just pinpoint right here, these 3 bottles right here, and tell you about them. And I'm gonna scroll down so you guys can read this while I'm talking about it. But number 1 product that doTERRA actually sells is, funny enough, not an essential oil, but it's actually called the Lifelong Vitality Pack. So I have to talk about it because it has been a life changer for me. It is probably one of my top 5 favorite things that doTERRA sells, and we use in our household every single day, and I have for the last at least 3 years, if not longer, that I've used the Lifelong Vitality Pack supplements. So I'm just going to talk for a couple minutes about it because that's how passionate I am about Lifelong Vitality, that I can't not talk about it for a minute. But basically, doTERRA has these 3 supplements, and out of our food, doesn't matter if you ate 100% raw vegetables and the leanest meat you could find, your body cannot absorb and get all of its nutrients out of food the way that it's grown and the way that it's produced these days. So basically, if we don't supplement our food, then our body is not getting everything that it needs in that department to really nourish our body and to be healthy, and to have a better, you know, quality of life. So the 3 different bottles that come in this one pack is the Micro VMZ, which is your multivitamin pill. So it's basically your minerals and your vitamins that are kind of your daily dose of those. So it's fantastic because it's all natural, and TMI, but you won't pee out bright colors anymore because it's all natural. And it actually says it on the side of the bottle where the source is that vitamin comes from, which is awesome. I would say 90% of vitamins out there are mostly synthetic, meaning that your body doesn't know how to absorb it and doesn't know what to do with it, so it just pees it out. And who wants to, you know, that's a really expensive pee. The Alpha CRS Plus is your antioxidant, cellular energy, and longevity. And if you're like, what did she just say? What did she just say? What did she just say? Our body does what's called age. It ages over time, right? So the thing with that is it's the antioxidants. It's the air that we breathe. It's the food that we eat. If our body is doing it's photocopies of photocopies. Basically, if you take a cell, it dies every 120 days. If you are doing things to make that cell more healthy, then the new cell that comes in will be more healthy. But if you're doing things and having, you know, toxins in our body and in our environment, it will continue to be damaged and get more damaged, aka the aging process. So if we keep our cells healthy, then we'll have better, you know, as we age, we'll feel better, we'll have less inflammation, our energy will be better. So that's what that really helps with. And then the other one that comes in there is your omegas 3, 6, and 9. And it also comes with essential oils in there to kind of give you a daily dose of essential oils. So it's kind of giving you the whole package of a foundation of health in that Lifelong Vitality Pack. So there's 2 sides of health that we're really talking about here. We're talking about like acute situation, like my throat hurts, I need an oil to help with that situation. And then you're talking about like the longevity of your, your life, and really having a good foundation for just an overall healthy, feel good type of life, right? That's what we all want. We all want to get to the age of 65 and 70 and not feel like we are 65 and 70. We want to feel like we're 30. So by having ourselves be healthy over the long run and having that foundation is going to really help us feel a lot younger as we get older. The oils are fantastic in aiding with having a better life, but they're also good at aiding with acute situations, like whatever comes our way, right? The other thing with oils is a lot of times things come up that we're like, well, it's not really an issue I need to go to the doctor for, but it's really bothering me or my child, and I wish I had a way to fix it, right? Like whatever it is. I mean, maybe you've got, I keep a skin irritation, you got a rash on your skin, or you've got, your eye is itchy, but the doctor's not going to probably do anything about that. What can you do? Like different little things that pop up all the time in my household. And now I have a source of way to relieve that, to really fix that ailment. So, when you think about your health, having a really good foundation of how you feel with the supplements, and then using the oils to really combat the daily different things that come our way, right? And so having a really good foundation of oils is really helpful. So that goes into, choosing what kind of kit or what kind of oils you'd want to start with. Now, I hope you guys took a minute and wrote down some of these health priorities and health concerns that you have. But I want to talk just for a minute about a couple of kits that I recommend, and I'm going to scroll down here to one called the Natural Solutions Kit. This by far is my favorite doTERRA kit. So when you get oils, I'll just explain this really quickly. When you start with oils, there's two different ways that you can buy oils through doTERRA. You can buy them retail, meaning you pick out whatever oils that you want, and I'll show you here. There's a whole list here of oils that you could pick from. And then you can pay this retail price here, which is this first kind of column here of prices, right? But the second way is through a wholesale membership. A wholesale membership comes two different ways. You can pay a $35 start fee and then pick out whatever oils that you want. And you still get that wholesale price. It's like shopping at Costco. You have a membership and you get a better deal at what you buy, right? So when you get a membership, you get a better price. So you can either pay that 35 bucks and then you have a membership for a year, or you can get a kit and it waives that $35 membership fee. That is honestly the best way to go, because not only do you get a membership for free, but they also take an additional savings off the kits because they've bundled them together. So this Natural Solutions kit right here comes with a handful of oils, ones that I've talked about, plus other ones that are also amazing. It kind of puts doTERRA all over your house. You get a diffuser, you get supplements, you get a ton of On Guard products to start with, the shampoo and conditioner, Deep Blue Rub, like a whole plethora of stuff, right? It's awesome. This is a great kit to start with. Then the other kit that I recommend is this one called the Home Essentials Kit right here. This Home Essentials Kit comes with your 10 basic oils that are really the good foundational oils to have in your household. It covers about 70% of, I'd say the ailments that come, on a daily basis to you. Plus it comes with a diffuser, which is great. So that's a great starter kit. The Natural Solutions Kit kind of gets you oils all over your house, and doTERRA all over your house, and really I'm going to go with the natural, or I'm going to go with, a whole new lifestyle. The starter kit is also, this Home Essentials starter kit is also fantastic. There's 2 different sizes of oils that come from doTERRA. One is a 15 ml size like this. It's got about 255 drops in it. Or there's the 5 ml size, and that has about 80 drops in it. So these are the bigger size bottles. So are these. They're the bigger size bottles, which is fantastic. I call the family, this other kit right here is called the Family Essentials Kit, and it is pretty much like a sampler pack. It's the same 10 oils, but they're in that smaller size, so you get about 80 drops per bottle, with no diffuser, which is a bummer in my opinion. So I don't usually talk about it, but if you wanted just to sample the oils, that is a kit to try. I highly recommend the Home Essentials Kit or the Natural Solutions Kit, just because of the amount of oils that you get, and you get a diffuser, which I think is super key. So the other thing that I wanted to mention is that this month with doTERRA in April, now doTERRA does promotions once in a while, and this month happens to be one of those months. So this month in April 2018, you get 50 free points, and points and dollars equal the same thing. If you order one of these 2 kits, you get 50 free points your way, which is fantastic. It's automatically added on in May to your, so you can reorder, another month more stuff if you wanted. And then the other thing that these 2 kits come with is it comes with a book from me. If you end up enrolling by tomorrow, you get it's called a Modern Essentials Guide handbook, and I have one right here. It's this guide right here that's huge, and it lists what oils are good for in the beginning. Like if you have peppermint oil and you're like, I don't know what to do with that, it tells you in this book. Or if you're like, I have a headache and I can't remember what oil to use, it tells you in this book. It also comes with a free lifestyle overview from either me or the person that invited you to this class, where we go over what oils you got and kind of a daily protocol with what to do with those oils. So that's also a fantastic part of your membership. So if you guys have any questions, please ask away, or find out from whoever invited you if you can sit down with them, if you can talk to them about what kit you want to start with and how you get going in that. It's super easy to become a member. It only takes a few minutes, and it takes a few days to get your oils to you. So I hope that answers your question, and we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks a lot. Bye.